Have you ever walked past someone asking for help and felt unsure what to do? One warm spring morning in a busy American city, a young man was walking through a park on his way to nowhere in particular. He had been unemployed for months and knew what it felt like when life stopped going your way. But that morning, something stopped him in his tracks. Near the park wall sat a man about his age, quietly asking for help. In front of him was a small bowl with only a few coins, and next to it a rough wooden sign that read in simple handwriting, "I am blind." People rushed past him without even slowing down, and yet the young man felt that something about this scene was deeply unfair. The young man walked closer and looked at the nearly empty bowl. He felt a quiet ache in his chest. "I'm sorry," he said gently. "I wish I could give you some money, but I've been out of work for months myself." The blind man nodded silently. He had heard those words before. Then the young man hesitated for a moment and added something unexpected. "But if you don't mind, maybe I can help you in another way." The blind man raised his head slightly, surprised. "What do you mean?" "I'd like to change a few words on your sign." The blind man gave a small shrug. "Go ahead," he said. "But I doubt there are any words left that can make people care." The young man reached into his pocket and pulled out a black marker. He picked up the wooden sign and quietly added a few new words. He didn't cross out the old message. He simply rewrote the story in a way people could feel. Then he placed the sign back beside the blind man, gave a polite nod, and continued walking through the park. The blind man never saw what the new words said, but he would soon feel the difference. As the day passed, something unusual began to happen. People who had walked by earlier suddenly slowed down. Some stopped. Others quietly reached into their pockets. Coins began to fall into the bowl. Then dollar bills. Then even larger bills. By the afternoon, the small bowl that had been nearly empty that morning was now completely full, all because of a few simple words. Late that afternoon, the young man walked through the park again. As he passed the same spot, he couldn't help but smile. The bowl was overflowing with money. The blind man heard his footsteps and immediately recognized the voice. "Wait, is that you?" the blind man asked. "Yes," the young man replied. The blind man tilted his head with curiosity. "What did you write on my sign?" The young man smiled softly. "I didn't write anything that wasn't true," he said. "I only added a few words." The blind man leaned forward slightly. "So, what does the sign say now?" The young man replied gently. "It says, 'I am blind, and today is a beautiful spring day.' Sometimes the truth doesn't need to change, only the way we help people see it." The first message told people about the man's problem. The second message helped them imagine what he was missing. And when people can feel someone else's world, their hearts open. Words have power. The right words can turn indifference into compassion, and strangers into helpers. So the next time you want someone to understand something important, remember this: facts inform the mind, but perspective moves the heart.